What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel. If you'd like to stay up to date with boxing news, please hit that subscribe button. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. So in boxing, we're missing a mega fight. And in order for us to get a mega fight, Canelo needs a strong B-side. Canelo needs a Joe Frazier to his Muhammad Ali. Because I think Canelo is a first ballot Hall of Famer right now. If he retired right now, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I also think that he is a superstar. He just sold 800,000 pay-per-views with Caleb Plant, a guy who's not a big star, and he sold 800,000 pay-per-views. Now, can you imagine if Caleb Plant had the popularity of a Tyson Fury or of a Errol Spence, or like or of a Gervonta Davis? But unfortunately, nobody in and around his division has the resume nor the name to match up with him. And part of the reason why they don't have the name and recognition that they feel they deserve to earn a Canelo fight is they don't fight nobody. People, like, there's some crazy people in the world. And I know it's hard for, us sane boxing fans to believe this, but there's people out there in this world that thinks Canelo only fights bums. That's their mind. These must be cokeheads. They get the same coke from David Benavidez dealer. I don't know what's wrong with these people, but yes, there's some people that think that. But when you look at the resume of a David Benavidez, his last 3 fights, Kyron Davis, a late replacement, who he somewhat struggled with, Ronald Ellis, and Romer Alexis Angulo. None of those guys are very recognizable at all. Nobody knows these guys. These aren't world champions. These weren't 50-50 fights he was going to. That's his last 3 opponents. This is the guy that Mayweather says Canelo is ducking. All right, let's go. And by the way, David Benavidez, somebody who's missed weight and lost his belt. Somebody who sniffed coke and got tested positive and lost his belt because of that. But let's move him to the side. Then you got Andrade. Andrade's last 3 opponents is Jason Quigley, Liam Williams, and Luke Keeler. Now, I understand with Andrade is a matter of circumstance in the sense that I feel like he's getting ducked a lot. And part of that is because he's not a draw, as well as he's not a very entertaining fighter. But at the same time, if you crash in press conferences and talking shit about him on Max on Boxing and all that, you have to somewhat have a resume to prove to him, hey, listen, I earned the right to fight you. Fuck my popularity. I earned the right. And I do think he's going about it the right way in terms of constantly calling out fighters and not constantly, but crashing the press conference. If he can do things like this more often and get his name out there, that'll be good for his name, and maybe he could earn a fight that way. But at the same time, his resume has to get better, whether it's a matter of circumstance or not. And then we got Charlo. Charlo's last 3 opponents, Montiel, Derevyanchenko, and Dennis Hogan. The only fighter on that's solid is Derevyanchenko, but also we got to remember Derevyanchenko is a solid opponent, not somebody who's ever been a world champion, somebody who lost to Daniel Jacobs in a close fight, somebody who lost to Triple G in a close fight, although there are people who do think he won, so I will give him credit for that. But yeah, it's like Charlo's resume isn't that solid enough either, especially in the middleweight division. Especially when there's Munguia available, Triple G is out there, Andrade has been calling out your name, saying he's willing to go to Showtime, saying he's willing for you to come on the zone. You know what I'm saying? And no fights have been made. That's why I call Charlo the biggest duck in boxing right here. I bought this toy to represent. Anytime I talk about Jermall Charlo, I bring out this toy because he's ducking. I don't know. David Benavidez called you a pussy, saying he's willing to move down to 160, saying to fight you, or you move up to 168. Andrade say he's willing to go on your side of the street or bring you across his side of the street. I don't understand why Charlo has not been in a significant fight in the middleweight division, but I don't understand it. And then I want him to understand the fact that I don't understand it is the reason why he hasn't gotten a Canelo fight. Because he feels he deserves it just off name, when Canelo wants him to get his resume up as well. Also, people want to say, oh, why did he move up to 175 and fight Bevo and fight Beterbiev? Neither of these guys have any sort of personality to make a mega fight. These guys are like nobodies in the sense of popularity. These guys could walk down Broadway here in New York City and nobody would recognize them. Do these guys even speak English? I don't know. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I don't know anything about these dudes. Like, I know stuff about Joe Smith, and Joe Smith has a title. Joe Smith is a person who, he's a construction worker. He knocked out Bernard Hopkins out the ring in his last fight. So he's someone who has somewhat of a storyline, but he's also somebody with a boring personality and doesn't really have much of a name either for him to be considered to be in a mega fight. And then even if you want to argue, the possibility of a Spence Crawford fight or a Fury Joshua fight, those fights aren't mega fights. Those are big fights, but not mega fights. Although for us boxing fans, we're like, whoa, like I would love to see Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. This is a fight we've been waiting for like what, 3 years? And we haven't gotten it for whatever reason. I'm not even going to put blame on nobody because that's not what this video is about. But point is, if the fight was to get made tomorrow, and let's just say, you know what, if the fight was to get made after Errol Spence beats Ugas, and the fight's for undisputed, two undefeated American fighters, one an Olympian, one guy from Nebraska fighting for undisputed in the welterweight division, the second most lucrative division in all of boxing, I don't think that fight sells more than 550,000 pay-per-views. So it doesn't constitute as a mega fight. And neither does Joshua Fury. Although that's a big fight in the UK, huge fight in the UK. In America, Fury is popular, but Joshua is not that much of a popular name because he don't fight here. You get what I'm saying? Most of his fights are in the UK, and the one fight he fought here in New York, in Madison Square Garden, he got knocked out by Andy Ruiz, a sloppy-looking guy. So, I don't know what is it with boxing, but we need to do a better job of getting these fighters in tough once they have a belt. Like guys like Charlo, Andrade, Benavidez. We need to get these guys in the mix and throw in Munguia and Triple Gio and all that mix and find out who's the best out of them. And I bet you Canelo will fight them. But all right, guys, that's my video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of what I'm saying. Also, hit that like button. As well as I go live every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's a live call-in show. So if you have a problem with anything I said, do me a favor, just call in and let me know so I can straighten you out. And if you agree with me and you just want to call in because you agree, shout out to you, call in. That's every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. But all right, guys, that's my video. And until next time, peace.